Hi boys and girls. To start the video today, I want to show you a few pictures of some buildings. Do you know what these are? Maybe it would help if you saw what it looked like on the inside. Figured it out yet? It's a school. For this video, I'm going to be talking about what school was like long ago. Long ago, there were a lot of farmers. It was the only way that people could survive because they had to grow their own food and the animals. We know that it was a lot of work and the kids had to do a lot of work to help. If the families could manage it, they would send their kids to school. Did you catch that? School was an option. Not all kids could go to school. And most of the time, girls weren't even allowed to go to school. Only boys were. I know, unfair. Well, because not every kid went to school and because there were not a lot of people in the town, schools were very small. It was just one small room. Right now, where we live, schools are pretty full. In our class, we have 12 kids who are about the same age, but back then, it was kids of all different ages all in one class together. You would have kindergartners in the same class as a third grader. I can't imagine teaching a class with all different ages. Here, this man is remembering when he went to school in a one-room schoolhouse. In the winter, the boys and girls would have to bring wood to keep the fire going to warm up the school. There were no toys, no iPads, no computers, pretty much just pencil, paper, and chalk. And get this, sometimes there were no pencils. Children had to use a lump of lead or a feather quill dipped in ink. Or there sometimes wasn't even paper because it was kind of expensive. So children would go into the woods to peel bark off of trees and write on it. If I was a teacher back then, there were some rules that I had to follow. I might have been as young as 15. Can you imagine having a teacher who's 15 years old? That's still in school. Teachers always had to wear long dresses, and they couldn't get married or have kids. If they found out I was married, I would be fired. Here's a quick clip of some kids visiting on a field trip to a one-room schoolhouse.
It's really tiny because this is pretty much the size of 2 classrooms in our school.
I like that it's only one room.
I think it's cool that a bunch of grades get to be in here.
They learn how to curtsy or bow and what happens when students back then misbehaved.
We don't have a timeout corner in our school.
Oh my goodness, a timeout corner? Don't worry, boys and girls, I don't have one of those in the classroom. But I would say that there are some similarities between school back then and school today. In the past, kids went to school to learn things like how to read or do math, just like today. You'll see kids practicing writing their letters, making mistakes, erasing. You'll see teachers writing things on a big board so the kids could see. That kind of stuff still happens today. But there are a lot of differences. I don't know about you, but I'm glad to be a teacher now instead of back then. And I think that you might be glad that you were a student now instead of back then too. I could be wrong though, who knows? All right, boys and girls, thank you for learning with me. And hopefully after today, you can talk about what school was like long ago.